Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Maya from
Bookworm
Dreams, and welcome to a new video.
So as you can see, we are doing another tag, and that is the 20 questions book tag that we found on Paper Fury's blog. So this is like, I think, a blogger and an author. She did this. Actually, the questions were really, she answered them, and it was like really nice.
We will leave the link to that,
yeah,
so you can check it out.
We'll link it down below. So yeah, let's just start with the questions. There's 20 of them. It's gonna take a while, so
all right. So, question number 1: how many books are too many for a series?
So I wrote like 4 to 5 plus. Like okay, 4 is fine. 5 plus maybe. That's like, I don't know. I just feel
Throne of Glass had 7, right?
Yeah.
We could have gone without Tower of Dawn, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been 6.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the series.
Yes,
like
it does.
Like some series like this is don't need anymore, and some are like just. I guess it's like for me it's like a TV show. Like
too many seasons.
There's like, you know,
but
like
again,
you have to be as an author, I guess. Like I'm not an author. This is like just like an opinion of mine. I don't judge you. Like it's just like that's how I feel about shows. But like I think you need to know where like there's where to stop. Like there's like a point. I love shows where they know where to stop and say, okay, we've done everything we could with these characters and this world, and it's okay. Or like for example, I like the idea, because I've never read those, but like Robin Hobb and Brandon Sanderson have like multiple series within a bigger universe, like in Terry Pratchett and stuff like that. Like so you get different characters, you get the sense of being like with different. You're in the same universe, but still they're like different books and stuff, and it's not as overwhelming as you know, like your Jim Butcher's 70. Like if I ever wanted to start him, like, which I would because she likes it and I would really like, but like I'm so intimidated by the fact that there's like almost 20 books at this point, like, and I can't even read the books I already have on my TBR, let alone if I like this add another 17, 18, whatever, like, you know. So like, you know, and 4 or 5 is like a, you know, digestible number.
See, I wrote 5, but then again, I did watch all 15 seasons of Supernatural, and I'm planning on rewatching them again and again. So yeah, but as you said, it depends on the series and whether or not, you know, the story makes sense after a while. Yeah. You know, with the Jim Butcher one, you know, he has like arcs inside the series. So the first 3 is like basically him just being a detective. Then the next series deals with the vampires. The next one with the other stuff.
Well, that's okay. So. I mean, come on, guys. I read 10 books from the Kate Daniels series, and I'm reading the novellas. So like, you know, what am I even saying? Right. Like whatever.
Okay. How do you feel about cliffhangers?
I am very neutral to them.
Yeah, I mean, they can be fun, but they can also be frustrating.
Yeah.
So like, they can be like, oh my god, I can't believe this ended here. And it could be like, oh my god, I can't believe this ended here. And so it's like,
yeah, it's like fun. And it's also like about execution. Like somebody does it really well. Like the first one, like where it's like, and then like another maybe feels more like you said in the Lord of the Rings. Like you said, well, it was so abrupt, and like you didn't like, you know, it's again it
depends on who does it and how to do it. All right, hardback or paperback?
Paperback.
Yeah, it's easier to hold.
I mean, I love how hardbacks are all the same size, and like they would fit like very nice. Like they're like aesthetically very pleasing on the shelf. But paperbacks are just so much easier to read, especially with my small hands, which is like, you know.
All right, favorite book.
Oh my god, so many. So this is gonna be a very
show and tell.
Show and tell. So Octavia Butler Kindred, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, the entire His Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman, Blacklands by Belinda Bauer. Please read it. Nobody's reading this, but it's really good. The Lock and Key comic by Joe Hill. I also have written The Pit and the Pendulum, which is the a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, which is awesome. I have the entire Millennium trilogy by Stieg Larsson, which is really brilliant. And the last 2 I have is Bad Blood which is a non-fiction bad blood.
Oh yeah,
about the Elizabeth Holmes one.
Yeah.
That was one of the best non-fictions I've ever read. And the one she has here, she's gonna probably mention it, is The Martian. There you go.
Alright, so let me just add with The Martian, the whole Interdependency trilogy by John Scalzi, and Hidden Legacy by Ilona Anders.
Yes, that one too.
Yeah, there are so many others, but these were the first three I came up with, so yeah. Least favorite book?
Everything by Sylvia Plath.
Alright.
I had to read Sylvia Plath for my university studies, and I was just like, no. Also, Roomies by Christina Lauren and Lead Me Home by I don't know who, but actually Lead Me Home, I have a vlog about it. I'll put it somewhere. And Roomies, I've spent so much time talking about this, so I'm not gonna right now. I'm just let Maya talk, but like, no.
Right, so I technically have nothing on this, but I gave Rene Adier's Wrath and the Dawn 1 star, but that was mostly because of the awful audiobook narration.
Oh.
And I don't know, I don't really have I honestly cannot remember anything that was so disappointed by that I gave 1 star. And usually when I if I don't know what to rate something, if I'm not sure how to rate, I just don't read it. So I do have a bunch of books on my Goodreads that I haven't rated because I was like, I don't know what this is and I don't know how I feel about it. So yeah.
I remembered one more. Sorry. Last Tango in Paris. I read that. It's like a classic.
It's awful. Isn't it
but
awful?
Oh my gosh, no! It's just it has so much wrongness in it, and there were pictures. I had an edition where there were pictures from the movie, and since I found out
what happened in the movie, that's why I was like,
and like all together, it's just like it's such a big no.
All right, next one. Love triangles, yes or no?
No.
I was like yes, if it turns from a triangle into like a mutual everybody stuff.
So like
harem
or like a threesome or something, or if it's done right.
That's right.
Like I hate in the Hunger Games what they did in the movies where they made Peeta, Katniss, and what's the other, Gale, like a love triangle, because in the books there's like a hint and then it's resolved basically in the first book, like it's it's just Peeta and Katniss, and I love that because it's like it was kind of but it wasn't actually, and like if it's done okay and like it's resolved rather than being like push and pull like on all sides, and like that. But no.
All right. The most recent book you couldn't finish. I have The Phoenix Extravagant by Yoon-Ha Lee and Blaze Wrath Games by, I think it's Amparo Ortiz.
Okay, I have Simmer Down by Sarah Smith. I have talked about this in some video we did.
All right, a book you are currently reading. A Town Called River by, what's the name?
Igor Rendic.
Yes.
We are both reading that. We will have a review of that at some point when we finish reading it. So since this is like the end of November, like I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna quickly have a show and tell again. So I'm reading A Gathering of Shadows by V. Schwab. I'm reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I love it. I can't wait to finish it. I'm reading Language Doesn't Matter, which I've been reading
that for a long time.
For a year. I still haven't finished. And I'm reading A Promised Land by Barack Obama, which I also have been reading for the last 7 months and still haven't finished.
Well, that's your car book, right?
We have stopped listening to the car book. So it's like on the back burner right now. So basically that's it. I'm sorry that fell.
It's fine. The last book you recommended to someone.
I recommended It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover to my sister because she was looking for like romance, but a different type of romance with more like real characters.
Less sex.
And less sex.
Yes.
So like this immediately came to mind.
Right. So I don't remember. It's like, do I tell you books to read? I don't remember. I don't actively go around recommending books. Yeah. So I can remember.
Yeah.
Right. The oldest book you've read by publication date.
So this is something Maya reminded me because like we have like what is it called in school?
Required reading.
Required reading. So she reminded me of the Iliad. I think that is
high school.
think, yeah, the one thing I remembered was the Divine Comedy, because I studied Italian. I had to read the entire thing like in the old language and everything and translate it into the like modern Italian.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that was like in, I think in 1300 something, 1320. And like from a newer like 20th century perspective, the oldest one would be the Mysterious Affair Styles from 1920. Like,
All right.
like the modern
So
old.
yeah, so I also put down the Iliad because I was like, I'm trying to remember, like, did I read the Iliad in high school? Because I saw Troy a million times, so I'm probably
Yeah, but we
confusing
did.
the
I think we
the
even
things.
had to read the Odyssey and the Iliad.
We did, yes, and modern, I guess. So I read Jane Eyre, which was first published in
Oh my
1847.
God, I forgot about. I was focusing on the 20th century
Right.
though.
Did you read Jane Eyre?
Yes, I did.
Also 1847. So those were those. Newest book you've read by publication date.
So I read Life Hypothesis by Ailey Hazelwood that came out in September of 2021. I do have like a short review in our wrap up,
Yes.
so you will have a link somewhere.
I win by 1 month. So I read Everyone You Hate Is Going to Die by Daniel Sloss, which was published in October of 21. All right. Favorite author?
Oh gosh, just just a sec. Okay, Joe Hill, Lee Bardugo, Helen Huang, Ilona Andrews, Andy Weir, Gillian Flynn, Nicolau Almanetti, Carlos Luisa Fon, and there's so many more.
All right, so I have Jim Butcher, Ilona Andrews, Andy Weir, Lee Bardugo, and I forgot Joe Hill. Joe Hill as well.
There you go.
All right. Buying books or borrowing books?
Okay, so I would prefer borrowing books, but specifically my library doesn't have basically any books. Like in the entire city of Zagreb, there's like 2 libraries that have like English sections, and that's basically it. And they don't have the books that I actually like. I either read them or I'm no longer interested in them because they're either YA or something like that. So not really. I borrow stuff mostly from Maya or her sister or like anybody who, you know, like reads, actively reads. But I would prefer borrowing. I hate that. Like I love that like in America you have like Hoopla and stuff like that where you can literally borrow books, because I would like to support our libraries because I am a librarian, so you know, like it's in my blood, I guess. And I want to support authors on the other hand by buying books. So like it's, you know, but I would prefer borrowing.
It's not even the fact that we just want to read in English. It's the fact that, for example, fantasy in my library is very limited, and science fiction as well. Basically, Dune and Leviathan Wakes, right, and a couple of like Star Wars novels and so on. But you know, the fantasy that I'm interested in, for example, like I wouldn't be able to find this or anything by her, even Scalzi, right, anywhere.
I mean, Brandon Sanderson in Creation, you cannot find it. Like there's 2 books.
They basically translated only. No, they only translated Final Empire. What was the second one?
Oh right. No, yeah, the final. So I think like basically the problem in Croatia is I would also read in Croatian, but they're like if you look at all the books that we read from our wrap-ups or our TBRs, like not even 1% of them is translated into Croatian. Yes. I think there's like a very big lack of translated works from the sci-fi and fantasy like genre in general in Croatian, because mostly they're focused on mysteries and romances, and not even like the ones you would see on BookTube that are proper, like I don't know, the Brown Sisters and stuff like that. It's more of like all of those mass paperbacks mostly.
Yes.
And like I feel like that's really sad because
because it's very difficult to get into like literary translations. Like if you want to translate books like for a living, it's very difficult to get into that field. And I remember when I found out that the woman who translated Game of Thrones for Croatian is not an actual translator. I mean, that's not her like profession, right? She's something completely different. And I was like, well, how do you even get into this, right?
The thing is, like, I'm not gonna even get into that because I'm a translator, and like, there's like a lot of issues in that profession in Croatia. But like, basically, I'm gonna give like thanks to like Hangar 7, who is basically the only
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
only publisher that I have seen that actually does translations
And does them
into
well.
Croatian. And actually, we are reading a book by one of
Their translators, right?
Igor Endic, that we said the time called River. He is also a translator.
He translated Nosferatu, right?
And you say it was really
He's
good.
really good, yeah.
And like, they're basically like.
Yeah, they're the only ones who are doing that.
Like there are some, but you know, they're like, you know, Catherine Arden ones we have translated, but it's just like, you know, like it's drops in an ocean. That's how it feels like. And actually, I don't see anybody like below 8th grade, like prior to high school, having even enough English to actually get into the genres, because you, especially for sci-fi, you have to have like a slightly higher knowledge of English to actually you can get into it. And like I think that's really sad, because like they're really great genres. I mean, I got into them only because Maya actually, you know, kind of said try this, and I loved it. So
yeah. I just want to mention that Hunger 7 recently translated Jade City.
Oh really?
Yes. Oh. And the cover is awesome. You're doing this video, so you're gonna put the cover.
Oh my god, really they have such awesome covers.
They do have awesome covers.
We have to see who the artist is. If this is the same artist, because whoever does it, oh my god, really they're good. So brilliant. Like the Croatian books, the translated works, such brilliant covers. Like really, hats off to them.
All right, let's go.
This is not sponsored by Hunger 7, by the way. This is just us being really fangirling about them.
All right, a book you dislike that everyone seems to love. So I'm just gonna mention one. I'm very much into paranormal romance, and for me, they're hit or miss. So there was one that seems to be very popular. It has like 4-star rating on Goodreads, and it's called Grigori by Lauren Smith, and I did not like it. Like, not really. It was so cringy. It was so. I talk about it in our wrap up, so check it out. But like, nope.
I don't have a specific book. I just say everybody apparently loves Stephen King, and I have yet to find a book that I love by Stephen King. The same was with Victoria Schwab, but I actually found a book that I like, so that's good. But like Stephen King, I'm still, you know, I'll keep trying, but
you don't have to keep trying.
No, because he has like
short stories.
But he writes in such different genres, you know. Yeah. Like the one that's the book, that's the movie with Katie Bates. Is it Misery?
Misery, yes.
Yeah, that sounds more like my alley than like his, like other, you know, like horror-y books.
I read Tominokers, that was one.
Yeah, so like I'm still trying. I will try, you know. So.
All right. Bookmarks or dog ears?
Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. We don't dog ear books in this house. Yeah. A book you can always reread.
Okay, so I'll show you. So these are also considered my favorites. I just didn't want to put them twice. But 1984, Where Rainbows End, which is like, I don't know, it got me through a really tough time in my life. And it just, emotionally, I'm so invested in this book. It's not brilliant, but just, yeah. And basically, I know it's like we don't mention them anymore, but all the Harry Potter books, I could read those like a million times.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I read them, like, reread them a couple of years ago. They're a fun reread.
Yeah, I think I reread them like 4 to 5 times already, so like I really like them.
All right, for me, so the whole Hidden Legacy series, the first 3 books, that was one, and Andy Weir's The Martian. I can reread this all the time and then watch the movie because it's so good. Yeah, it really is. All right, can you read while listening to music?
Yes. But it has to be like classical music, ambiental music. So nothing that I actually know the lyrics to, because like it just kind of gets in the way.
Right.
So yeah, but definitely like something,
movie soundtracks.
Yeah, that's also cool. Like, like people turn on the TV and like they put like a fire and like there's music. Yeah. Like that's fine. I actually like that setting. That's really cool.
All right. One point of view or multiple?
I tend to prefer multiple POVs. I not necessarily that I don't like one, but I feel like I get more from multiple, especially like since I really like romance. If it's just one POV, it feels like you're missing something. Like it's just more
especially
immersive.
If you're not gelling with the main character.
Yeah,
Think about reading the Grisha verse only through Alina's eyes. And you don't get Nikolai, and you don't get Zoe, and you don't get Nina, and you don't get anybody. Just, you know.
Yeah,
so
that wouldn't.
multiple
POVs.
POVs are
but not
fun.
too much.
Yeah,
like
not 15 of them.
If there's a lot of them, they have to be written like really good.
Yeah, so
like,
you can
really
definitely you know, differentiate from one another. So yeah.
Yeah, and like for example, I remember reading What If It's Us, and I remember that the two characters were so similar. I couldn't. I was reading to the audiobook, and I literally had to remember by people who they mentioned. Oh, that's this guy. Oh, this. They were so similar in character, so that's also bad. I would rather have them just had one POV, you know. So, but
All
multiple POVs.
All right. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days?
Mostly multiple days.
Yeah.
I mean, like Maya said in a tag, or maybe even here, like weekends are awesome because you like, I guess I dedicate more time to reading them because, you know, like no work mostly. But it just depends. I remember, well, this was when I was in university, so I had more time. I remember reading like the first book in the Hunger Games. I mean, it's called Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading it until 6 in the morning because I couldn't stop. I just started and I just read it in one sitting. But mostly, if I'm gonna read something in one sitting nowadays, it's a novella or a short story, you know, something like that. Books are just a multiple day kind of, you know, thing. No.
I remember I read through most of Suki Stackhouse series in college. I read all of the Jim Butchers that were published in college. I read so much. Ilona Andrews I read in college. Like so many urban fantasy stuff that I read in college because I had the time to do it. I mean, I was supposed to be studying, but I read a lot. Yeah, but yeah, I just the only thing that I read in one sitting was the saga books that I recently. But other than that, I just comics. Yes,
you read Nimona for sure in one sitting.
Yes, but that's a comic, right? But
Yeah,
if I have to
comics.
read like something like this, for example, it takes a couple of days. I mean, I could read in one day, but what's the point? I read it in a couple of days. Yeah. And last question: who do you tag? Are we tagging Rhea again?
Yes, we can tag them again.
If they haven't done this tag, we are tagging them, so you're tagged.
Bookfinch, hi.
Hello.
You're gonna be tagged like every time now.
Yes, and anybody else who feels the need to do this, we can tag the book buds. Yes. We also tag the book buds.
Okay.
All right, and that is pretty much it. If you have done this tag and you want to share your videos with us, please do down below in the description box. Any comments or thoughts on what we've said, please feel free.
Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, press the bell button if you want to get notifications whenever we post new videos.
And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.